What's up, everybody? I'm Sal This is Reggie Steele.
And welcome to Spitallin.
There it is.
There it is. Yo, man, I just cleaned up. I just shaved the whole shebang, man. Got it
You
nice
shave
and tight.
every week.
Yeah, before the episode.
Your hair probably takes forever to grow. So you probably, oh my God, that's a big dome. Reggie was telling me before we got on here that his head's growing.
No, it's not growing.
Well, you said your hat size grew from 7.5 to 7 and 9/8. Wait, that's not even possible.
Yeah, I was gonna say 9/8. Holy cow. Yeah, my head has grown just like my body has grown. And from the beginning, from what I told you, that was like from probably senior year in high school, right? Like as I've gotten bigger and older, my head has gone with. I would hate to have the same size head I had in high school.
I still do 7/1/8. It's fitted cap. It's still
really
what I wear.
Well, I got, you don't have these muscles right here. I got these muscles.
Yeah, dude, look at that. Yeah, you've been working.
I got like, if I didn't have these muscles, like my head would be like straight up oval shaped, but I got these muscles on the side. I call these
head muscles.
Yeah, this is like armor. In case I get punched on the side, they absorb. They absorb all the punches.
I was just watching The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay.
Remember that movie?
Is that that's the animated one?
No. Yeah, the Jack Skeleton. It's kind of like
long, skinny with the round head, moon head. Or
yeah. And then, one of the bad guys, he's like the mad scientist, and he's like a duck-like robot looking, and then he could pop his head off, and you could see his brain, and it's all big and lumpy on the side. That's what I thought of when he took your hat off.
That's funny. Like brains. I gotta admit, I haven't seen that movie in a long time, and in fact, I say I may have never finished it. So
I mean, it's all right. People are way into it, but
dude, they love those. Like, what isn't there something? There's another one with the bride or something.
Coraline and the Corpse Bride.
The Corpse Bride. Now, Coraline. I saw Coraline. And
that was creepy as fuck, dude. And the Simpsons did a Halloween one on it, and it was creepy.
Hey, man, I'm telling you right now, I love animated movies. So I was like, yo, let me check out this Coraline joint. When the little girl went through the wall or the hole into the other world, and the family's trying to keep her, and then they trying to take her eyes and put
the eyes. Oh.
Yo, I was like, yo, this is like some Us type shit and some Them and Get Out and whatever else you could think of. I was like, yo, this shit is creepy as hell.
Yeah.
I was like, this for kids? This is for kids. This is for kids.
Yeah. That one's hardcore, dude.
Hell yeah. There's a family that lives in a wall that wants to take your eyes. I was like, nah, I'm good, bro.
And everyone's so freaky. Let me see. Did Tim Burton do that one too?
I think so, Tim Burton. And Corpse Bride. I faintly remember that too. I gotta watch all of them.
No, it wasn't. It was Henry Selick.
Oh, he was like a wannabe, or a Wes Anderson wannabe, maybe. Well, either way it goes, that joint was creepy. I don't care who directed it, wrote, and produced. That joint was creepy. A child, look, man, we'll be your family now.
There's her eyes, dude. Ooh,
yo, that's crazy.
Those button eyes. Buttons are scary.
Buttons, yeah. We'll be your family now. We just gotta take those eyes. Yo, damn that. I ain't into scary movies, man. You into scary movies? Considering it was just Halloween?
Not at all. But what's kind of funny is we went to a drive-in last week before Halloween, and I never saw it before, and we went and saw The Shining.
Oh, okay. The Shining. That's classic.
The Shining?
Okay, before I get into this, let me just say this. I started The Shining, and I probably got 3/4 of the way. It was one of those things where I was like, this shit is crazy. Like, it's kind of weird. This dude is.
Did you get scared and you turned it off? Is that what happened?
No, I was like, wait, what is going on? He's up here. And like, I was trying to figure out what was I was like, is this happening? This is in his mind. Like, he was losing it. Basically, the movie is he's losing his mind, right? He's up there by himself. He's losing his mind and he's seeing shit, right?
Right.
But
you missed the very end. You don't even you didn't see the very, very end. The last shot is such a iconic little twist.
Really?
Yeah, man. Now I
Ah,
kind of oh my God.
okay, well, okay, we can talk
Oh.
about it up to a point because I saw
No, you gotta
you just can't tell me the last
Oh, I
scene.
can't believe. Why would you? I
Why would I
don't
not
you?
finish it? Why would I not
Yeah, I'd
finish it?
always have to finish it, even if the movie's bad. I'm like, well, at least I got to know how it ends, unless it's really, really bad, and I plan on never watching or giving a shit.
Yeah, I just it was like I was watching it because I felt like I needed to watch it because it's
It
such
is
a
long
popular
too.
movie. It's long. And I'm okay with that.
Slow.
Like I can handle it's that's slow. It's like watching a Todd Berry stand-up where you're like, is this thing ever gonna pick up speed?
This
Right.
is 70s, man, like 70s and early 80s, like
Yeah.
Taxi Driver, Godfather, all that stuff was slow.
Psycho.
Psycho.
It's all about that pacing, man. They're trying to pull you in. So
But they do a
I never
great job in
The
Shining.
Shining. Oh, Jack Nicholson. I know the one where he's in the wall and he's like,
Yeah. I was so I
right.
was reading about when he does that. So he does the Here's Johnny, and the movie
Yeah.
came out in
Here's
1980.
Johnny. Yeah. Okay.
And the director is British, Stanley Kubrick, or he
Okay.
was living in England. I don't know if he's British, but he was living in England at the time. He moved there, and he was that's where they made a lot of the movie, and he didn't get the reference at first because he never watched Johnny Carson because he was in England, so he almost cut it from the movie, the most
Oh,
famous part. Isn't that crazy?
that is crazy. And you know what's crazy is that I didn't even know that that was a reference to Johnny Carson until you just said it.
Yeah, dude. Here's
Here's
Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah,
Oh
dude.
man, that's that right there. Now that's a master class in creativity and artistry, right?
Mhm.
To bring in that scene in that moment, knowing that the character is that's his name and how
Yeah.
impactful that could be. Oh, that's you got to give Jack credit for that one. That's big time.
Yeah, there's a lot about that movie. I was looking. So the woman, Shelley Duvall, like they say Kubrick was kind of like a dick the way he directed, and he just make people do stuff over and over and over. And like she
Okay.
had one scene she had to do like 130 times, and she was
Are you
constantly
serious?
oh yeah, dude. He was like hardcore. And there was like something else, like that part when he breaks through the door, like he didn't tell her a certain thing, like where it was coming. So she really got scared. And oh yeah, they would really fuck with the actors. And now I just saw
Wow.
an interview with her from a couple years ago, and she's a little out there, bro. Like in another realm, kind of
Wait,
almost in the
in
interview.
regards to what though? Like how?
Just like her sentences were kind of didn't really make sense to me. They were all
Oh,
over the
they're
place. And like,
incoherent.
yeah, kind of like the I don't know how there's them out there and this and that. And you just gotta see. She's kind of
Oh, she's like, wait, not some
she's
Illuminati,
missing a
but
couple
like
marbles or something.
right, but not Illuminati shit, but like there's how people kind of get into that conspiratorial
Yeah.
frame of mind where it's like they're watching us and it's like who is they
Yeah. Right.
them
Yeah.
them
Yeah. It's shit like that, dude. It's
them
like
right. It's like, yo,
so.
turn off the TV, turn off the radio, go for a walk, be one with nature. And if you hear a voice in your head, it's not God. It's
It's you
right.
guys, you go crazy.
You're going crazy. If you hear a voice in your head, it's just your own conscience talking to you. It's yourself. It's not God telling you. It reminds me of that old Martin Lawrence joke where he talks about how white people end up killing people all the time. And it's like there's a voice in their head, and the voice is like, kill 4 people. Just kill 4 people. And they're like, okay. I guess I gotta kill 4 people. It's like, yo, no, you don't have to do that. So yeah, I gotta watch The Shining, man. Maybe that's my assignment for next episode.
Some about The Shining, what's something cool about The Shining and Rocky were two of the first movies to use the steady cam.
Okay.
And Rocky always gets the credit because it came out in 76, and it was when he was running up the stairs the first time. And that's the first use of a steady cam.
Right.
And then in The
Could you
Shining,
imagine what it looked like
I
if
know
they
it'd
had
be
a
so
steady cam?
terrible.
He's
It'd be
running up the
like Blair
stairs.
Witch Project.
Yeah.
So
that's
but with The Shining, what's crazy is he does it with that kid. He's following the kid around on the fucking big wheel, and the kid keeps turning the halls, and he keeps turning down halls.
yeah.
And you're just like, what's around the corner? What's around the corner? And then finally, that one time, the scariest is when you see the 2 girls sitting there holding
Yes.
hands. And
What is it
see,
about?
that's what, like children, or like just
What?
like
No, what is it about twins
Well, they're not even
stoic.
twins. One's younger and one's older in it, but you can't really tell because they're dressed the same. But it's like, because then you notice something like they started a lot of trends, like evil kids, scary, right? And like you know, in this movie was 1980. So then after that, what, like the Omen or whatever, and I mean, I guess The Exorcist was a kid too, but like,
and you got The Good Son or whatever it is, and
but then like later a lot they keep going to the kids, and then another thing was the girls in the dresses. They remember Freddy Krueger, all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. They all start with those girls doing the jump rope. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. And so like this kind of started that too. Like you're like, what the hell? And then so it but you're right. All these things keep popping up. And see, the thing is, like, there's a great Simpsons too called The Shinning, and they almost do it exact. Like, there's so much of it that's similar. And the one is like, remember when she's like, she hits him with the bat, and then she drags him into the storage, and so all that stuff he's thinking, right? He's imagining, and she locks him up in the storage room, but then the ghost, which is the bartender, lets him out. Like, he gets out. And so that's the only thing that breaks reality.
Okay. So that's why. Okay. See, right now, because I faintly remember that part, and there was a part where I was like, "Yo, hold up, was that guy real? Was he not real?" Like there was a.
Right.
I gotta watch it again.
Yeah, he's supposedly not real, but none of it's real. It's just him, his wife, and his kid. His kid's creepy too, with that little. There's a guy that lives in my mouth, and he's like, "Gosh, you do that, Tony." Like, I was like, "What the fuck, dude?"
All right, man, you can't say anymore because I'm starting.
All right.
Not remember stuff,
well, here's another thing. So we'll watch it in the drive-through.
Okay.
And 1980. Dude, they drop an M-bomb, bro. And you're sitting there.
Oh, yeah, because the janitor is there at the beginning, the black guy or something.
Right. Yeah. One of the ghosts drops the M-bomb. Racist ghost.
a racist ghost. You mean to tell me that racism still exists in the afterlife? God damn, we can't never get away from this shit. You mean to tell me even if I die, I still gotta deal with some asshole ghost who's gonna call me the M-bomb? I'll be like, "Hey, what's up, man? We all the same." He's like, "What's up, man? What's up, nigga?" I'm like, "Oh shit, I can't get away from this shit." You can't, dude. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. The idea that you can't even get away. Racism is so strong; it exists in the afterlife.
Yeah,
even ghosts don't like you, right? Oh, black ass ghost show
That's
up.
That's why they wear them cloaks.
Mm-hmm. Ghosts just the ghosts just don't have the point at the tip, right? The white ghosts, they just push it down. It's like, yo, go ahead and make that joint pointy. You know you want to. Dude, that's funny. Like the idea that as a black person, you know how many black people have died, right, trying to escape racism, only to get to the other side to be greeted by racist ghosts. Mm-hmm. You gotta be like, this is some bullshit. Like, we get no break. You get no break. No break. No break. So anybody who's listening to this and you're black, just understand this is as good as it gets, right? Because when you get to the other side, you still got to deal with the same bullshit, right? So that's funny. A racist ass ghost.
Yeah. Damn. So okay. That went down, and there's one other thing that I don't get, because I won't give much away, but the woman starts seeing stuff too at the end. But like, there's one shot, and it's a guy dressed up in like a bear costume or a dog costume giving a blowjob to somebody, like one of the ghosts. Like the ghosts, it's weird. Like you see the shot, like there's pictures have been put up online, a lot of it, but it's just a real quick weird shot.
So there's a guy giving head.
Well, you see this dog costume guy, and like and this other guy's laying on the bed, and the dog costume guy just lifts his head up and looks down at Shelley Duvall. And that's it, dude. It's never explained. It's creepy as fuck.
Oh, dude. So now we gotta deal with racist gay ghosts. We gotta deal with racist gay ghosts. God damn. This is what Dave Chappelle was talking about, right? Yeah.
It's ahead of its time, The Shining.
Yeah, it's definitely ahead of its time.
But it's definitely scary, creepy. The music, the sound is creepy. The way they shoot it, the long shots. There's a lot to it.
So let me see if I remember correctly. So the idea is that they go to this resort, it's up in the mountains, and they get snowed in or the roads blocked.
No, well, it's a
Or
job interview. He has a job with this hotel, this fancy hotel that has all these fancy Hollywood people and shit stop by.
Mhm.
And it's funny, only in the summer. In the winter, the roads are too rough that people can't come in, so they just need someone to take care of it while they're
right,
gone. So
right,
he
right,
takes the job, and he's a writer, and he thinks it'll help his writing, and he
right.
takes his wife and his kid.
Okay. All right. Say no more. That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
And then there's
that's
the
all I
one
know.
black guy who's a maintenance guy. If I remember correctly, the black guy leaves because he's like, yo, I got to get out of here before the roads shut down or something
But
like
he's
that.
he just goes with everyone else, but he has the shining that could talk to the kid, which it's his old story is crazy too. You're just like,
Oh, so the
what?
black dude stays then.
No,
So
no,
maybe
he leaves.
he leaves.
He
Okay.
leaves.
Okay. I
But
thought
he
he did.
has
Okay.
that ability to talk,
To,
like the shining, to like connect with the other world, or to
so
talk to the kid.
it's telekinesis.
Kind of something like that, I think. Yeah, there's
Okay.
not much explained. There's a lot. It's
All right.
out in
Don't
the
say
open.
that's it. You've said too much. Don't say anything. I promise
Really,
you, I will watch The Shining tonight. I'll
it's
watch it
crazy,
tonight.
bro. It's
Yeah, I'll
scary.
watch The Shining tonight.
It's scary. Yeah, watch
Anything.
them to the end, because then I really want to try and figure out what the hell the end means.
Okay.
The
All right.
final shot.
Okay. I'll watch it to the end and watch the final shot,
Or
and
just
then we can
fast
discuss
forward
it.
to it.
So you're not into scary movies, but you saw The Shining. What was the last scary movie you saw? Like at the not other than The Shining, obviously, but like, have you seen
Not
any
at
of
all.
these? The Conjurings and The Hills Have
No, I saw
Eyes.
the
And
Cabin in the Woods. That one was cool. That's a
okay, I
different
didn't see
one. That
that.
one's cool. Then it's not. I don't like super scary. Watched Scream recently because we never saw Scream. That one's
Okay.
That one's fun. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's fun. It's like
But yeah, no, dude,
I'm
I'm
in the
not into
house
them.
with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I'm not. It's like, yeah, man, I don't need to get, especially if it's super scary or horror. But if it's good, like Us, Get Out,
right, right. If it's got a good story, right?
right, yeah. They're
Okay, so let
or
me just
what's
say
The
this.
Quiet Place? That was another great
Oh,
one.
is that the one with Sandra Bullock and the
No,
thing?
that's the guy from The Office did it. He was in The Office, and yeah, you haven't seen The Quiet Place?
I don't think so. I know
Oh, it's
there's
good.
one. Okay,
There's a
no, it
sequel
wasn't,
out now.
and it's not Sandra Bullock. The one with the
Oh, you're thinking I haven't seen that one where they're
the
blind. Bird or something it's called.
bird
Is
or
it?
something. Yeah, you can't see the things,
Yeah, I haven't
right?
seen that
Because
one.
if you see them, then you lose your mind or something. So so I have a friend who is into scary movies. This is his thing. He loves scary movies. But what I just realized, for the longest, I thought that the guy liked being on the edge of his seat and being nervous and like startled and stuff. No, it's not about any of that stuff. This dude simply wants to see people get killed. When
What
he
the
talks about,
fuck?
exactly, when he talks about a scary movie, he's not talking about the intensity or the buildup or the misdirections and the scare. He's talking about, dude, the body count in this joint is crazy, right? This is also the same guy who was like, yo, John Wick, one of the best movies ever. He killed at least 300 people in this movie. I'm like, dude, you got a problem with people, right? Like, you know how you hear about people who don't like people? Like, he's not a people person. This dude is not a people person. So I guess Halloween Kills just came out, right?
Oh yeah, the new
Jason.
which is funny. No, that's Michael Myers.
I mean, Michael
And
Myers.
it's funny, that original one, I've seen that one. And that one they're not as scary, the first ones, all the early stuff, because they like he's just like sitting around across the street. Like, who's that dude standing over there? And then finally he gets in the house.
Dude, how funny is that? That the scariest part of the movie is like, there's a guy across the street.
With a
Do you know
mask
him?
on.
I don't know him. It's like, it's all psychological. So this guy's telling me about Halloween Kills, and he's like, dude, it's so good. And I guess he's talking, it was a sequel to a previous one. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, the storyline stayed intact and they did this whole thing. And he starts showing me scenes from it. And I realized that all the scenes that he's showing me, they're not scary at all. It's just Michael Myers killing people in more creative ways. Right?
Yeah, they're being gory. He likes the
big
gore.
Like, he likes the gore. Like, when someone takes the cell phone and they're like, ugh. He's like, he could have do with a cell phone. Yeah. Right. He took the. Oh, hello?
You just took your mic out?
Yeah, hold up. Can you hear me?
I can hear it. Yeah.
Okay. He's like, he took the microphone. He's like, "Ah." It's like, dude, it was great. So, yeah, man, I realized that maybe scary movies aren't necessarily about being afraid as much as it's about just seeing people get killed. It's like watching Faces of Death with a story, right? Which I
Well, it's
never watched,
funny.
by the way.
Some of them, I mean, some of them are really scary and mess with you and your psyche, but nowadays, a lot of them are just like, yeah, blood and guts and gore. And they're like one of the cheapest movies to make
Right,
because there's also like a guaranteed audience because of
right,
guys like that who just,
right.
I don't get it. There is like, it's a niche. People dig it.
People just want
And
to
there's
see people
so many
get killed.
terrible ones. Like, I don't know how people do it.
Dude, I look, anybody who, like, if you take the time to look, they say, and when I say they, I'm talking about all the psychologists and the health journals, Psychology Today magazines. The human psyche should not see anything more than what you would show to an 8-year-old. That's how fragile our psyches are and how much of an impact things can have on us psychologically. So when you take in these horrible images of people getting maimed and killed and beheaded and heads chopped in half, like, it has a profound effect on your body physiologically, because we're not designed to see that. It's like the whole thing where people want to see a train wreck until they see a train wreck, right? Everybody wants to see what happens, and then they see bodies strewn all over the place and pieces and everything else, and they're like, oh my God. It's like, no, yeah, we're not meant to see that shit, but whatever. What do I know? Except for how to protect my psyche and not see some dumb shit. So
all right, so I wanted to talk about big news in the NFL day yesterday, Reg. A lot of news dropped. It was 3 big stories. First off, I'll say it came out Aaron Rodgers is a liar.
Oh, so he had said that he was vaccinated and now he's not?
What he said is he was immunized.
Immunized. So he had it and then he got immunized.
No, he didn't. That's what we thought. It came out today. I found out he had some, I don't know, a doctor or somebody prescribe him a homeopathic way to boost his immune system so he would be protected from coronavirus. And guess what? That doesn't work.
So basically he had like he went to go see a witch doctor. The guy had a bag of bones.
Some shaman. And
shook it around.
It's him, and then Devontae Adams, the best receiver probably in the league, got it last week. And because receiver quarterback, they always interact. Eventually, Aaron Rodgers got it. So now, and then when you're unvaccinated, they're going to have to miss at least 10 days and they have to get 2 negative tests. And he can miss the next 2 weeks. And they're just won 7 in a row.
Oh,
they're in a hot streak. They're playing Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs this week, and he just fucked his whole team. And supposedly, like his new fiance is all into like that shit. She like eats clay and stuff, and and I just found out they're buddies with the guy. I forget the guy's name. He this actor. Let me look him up real quick. You ever see that movie?
Let me just say this real quick.
Go ahead.
In regards to this, now look. I do not advocate him misleading anybody, right? I'm not down for that. But I think we can both agree that it should not be called a vaccine, right? It shouldn't be called a vaccine because it doesn't prevent you from getting it. It should just be called, and this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing personally going forward. I'm not calling it a vaccine anymore because it's not like chickenpox. That's what vaccines
are, though.
No, but like is the flu shot, is that a vaccine?
Yeah.
Is that considered a vaccine?
Yeah, and you can still get it
because I thought it was.
It's all vaccine. You can still get it. It's just, but that shows how powerful COVID is. That it can still mutate and break through.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't know if it's just mutating and breaking through because the thing is not 100% effective. It's not like chickenpox and measles, right? When you get those shots, they don't wear off until way later. And obviously, you have to get. I think when you get a certain age, you have to get another one, like in 60s or something like that, because then people end up getting scabies or rickets or whatever it is they get. But the point being is that if Aaron Rodgers was vaccinated, he could still potentially have gotten it. So it's not even a discussion about whether he was vaccinated or not. It just vaccinated reduces his chances of getting it. Yes. Reduces the chances of having a severe reaction. Yes. Does it eliminate his chance of getting it? No. So if he was,
but that's all vaccines. That's how it's always been.
Yeah, exactly. But you understand in the current dialogue, in the current, discussion about this whole thing, they're pitting these vaxxed and unvaxxed, and they're demonizing the unvaccinated people as if he were vaccinated, he would have never stopped.
Well, there's a
Stop.
better chance he wouldn't have gotten it.
There's a better, and keyword better chance, but it doesn't eliminate any chance.
He would recover quicker. So now he's putting his team at risk even longer without him.
Potentially, because I've heard of people who were vaccinated and got it still, and then had some severe reactions, ventilators in hospitals and shit. But whatever, man.
See, anybody who had a reaction, that's all could be taken care of. And even if it's caught quickly without hospitalization, the opposite effect is anybody who's unvaxxed and gets it could just end up dead.
And the key word is could. But the percentages
of 700,000 have.
Yeah, but how many people have been infected, right? You look at, and I'm not, I think the loss of one life, like just like I said, way at the very beginning of when we started this whole thing, I remember hearing one school representative speak on it, and he goes, we can't reopen schools yet, right? Because, the loss of one child, one is too many, right? Everybody wants to get their kid back into school, but if they say, all right, we're going to reopen schools, but statistically speaking, because this whole thing still exists, one of the kids have to die. So if you're okay with your kid potentially dying, then by all means, sign the release form and bring your kid back to school. No one goes back to school. So one is too many. I get it. One is too many. But I just don't like the way that they demonize people for not doing it, as if no, I'm serious. They demonize, because I feel like I'm on the verge. I think I pretty much have lost one of my best friends over this shit. Like, it has literally, it's like the Civil War, man. It's pitted brother against brother, and people are picking sides. And we currently live in a political environment where, everyone it's so polarized. It's either you believe what I believe or we can't be friends, right? And so, like, I straight up, like, hey, dude, one of my best friends is not talking to me right now, not responding to me right now. Like, I was the best man in this dude's wedding. And because, I haven't done this thing, all of a sudden now, dude,
you got to do it, Reg. You got to do it.
Well, I mean, there's, I'm not going to get into all the details surrounding that, but I will say, hey, man, you ever heard of permanent solutions to temporary problems?
Yeah, suicide.
Right? It's suicide. This is like friendship suicide right now, because he has an idea about something and he's not taking into account who I am individually and personally. I'm not going to get too deep into it because I'll get,
here's something crazy.
I started to get this shit, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's like I'm angry and sad and and mad and frustrated and whatever.
Our guest we had last month or so, Monad, is right after he had his mother, his whole family in Ohio don't believe in the vaccine, all unvaccinated. They all got it, and ended up killing his mom.
No.
Yeah, dude. And
Jason's mom.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, like, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man. Crazy. Oh, man. I am so sorry to hear that. Yeah, his mom died from complications of COVID.
Yeah. And none of the fucking, their families so root right wing, and we're into like conspiracies. And that's what Jace even mentioned, how he hated going home and they're always busting his balls about stuff.
Yeah.
And, yeah, man. It's
how old was she? I mean, she's probably in her early 60s or late 50s, early 60s.
Probably even 70.
Oh, maybe 70s. What was her health like? Any pre-existing conditions?
She was fine. I mean, I know she used to smoke and stuff, but once you get older,
hold up. You can't skirt over that. And look, I'm not trying to justify this at all.
Well, I don't know. I don't know I haven't seen her in 20 years, Reg.
Okay. No. I'm just saying, because this is it makes sense, because this is this thing attacked your respiratory system.
Right. And see, that's what I've been trying to push my mom to get it, because my mom has bad lungs. She's like allergic to smoke and shit. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, Ma, you get this. And unmasking in Ohio, and then she's going to go to Florida. These are the areas where nobody's masked up.
Right.
No mask, no vax, and that's a danger world, man.
Dude, the South is crazy. My buddy just came back from North Carolina, and he was like, yo, man, it's a different world out there. He's like, my entire family has gotten this thing, and some people are masked up, some people aren't masked up, no one's social distancing. It's like, it's a different world in the different parts of the country, man. It is. See, I think the biggest problem with the whole vaccine situation is how it's been presented, because it was presented as if it was a cure-all. And so what happened was people just ran back out into the world without any restraints, right? No social distancing and no wearing a mask at all.
Yeah,
and
over
not
the summer they stopped following the rules. You're right.
Yeah, they stopped following the rules, and because they had this idea that they were invincible, right? And the problem is that you're not invincible. So you actually open yourself up to more exposure because you're not taking any precautions at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, but even now the numbers are dropping, and I understand hospitalizations are down and death rates are down, but this thing still exists in the world, man. It's still around, right? And look, it's no secret that I'm not vaccinated, right? I'm not, but I still practice social distancing. I still wear my mask, right? I'm still washing my hands, not obsessively, obviously, because it don't exist on surfaces like that, like they thought at the beginning. But you know, vaccination rates going up, obviously, and you know, and people in the Bay, we've been cool because people have been, you know, they put in so many mask mandates, and they've
California, they just started it today here in LA to go indoors. And honestly, I went to a bar a couple weeks ago, and you had to show it, and it's nice. You feel like it felt safer, but then we went outside, and they're like, well, if you're outside, you don't need it. I'm like, oh shit, so if anyone else comes out here, they're probably
well, exactly, because then it's open air. But see, that's the other thing. Now you think that anybody who's unvaccinated potentially has it, but people who are vaccinated could potentially have it, right? Look, I'm gonna share something with you right now. So, you know, Dave Chappelle has his Untitled documentary showing in San Francisco. It's in 10 cities, right? I had tickets. I had 2 complimentary tickets.
Oh, you couldn't go.
And San Francisco, you can't go. And I was like, I even reached out, I was like, yo, if I show proof of a negative test within 72 hours and whatever else, is like, nah. San Francisco, only vaccinated people who present the card can get inside, right? So now if you look at what they're doing, it's like they're like, oh, yeah, you can't re-enter society on a certain level. No bars, no restaurants.
Because you put more people at risk.
But how can I put more people at risk when people can still get it? Like, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, everybody in that arena,
you have a higher chance of getting it.
Yeah, I have I stand a higher risk of getting it. Yes. But think about
11 times. That's a lot.
11 times higher. Okay, that is a lot. But just imagine. But if I'm negative, right?
Well, there was like that guy, Miles Teller. That's who it was. I was trying to think. Aaron Rodgers' buddy, and they're doing a movie where they're doing the making of The Godfather, and he had a part in it. He has a major part in it, but he wasn't vaccinated, and he even went on the set, and when he was tested positive, like he didn't get tested before he went. Then he was on set, was positive. They had to shut the whole set down, dude.
Yeah, of course.
And he cost them like millions of dollars.
Of course, but that's the point. The point isn't that he was positive. The point was that he didn't get tested. That was irresponsible.
He didn't even take the responsibility. Yeah, right.
Yeah, he was irresponsible. Right. What I'm saying is that in this situation, I am not being irresponsible. In fact, I'm being more responsible because everyone else who thinks that they're invincible, who think they're Superman because they got the shot, they're not wearing a mask. They're not social distancing. They're walking around like, oh yeah, I'm invincible. And I'm like, the truth of the matter is that you're not. So even at this concert or this show tonight, everyone who's vaccinated, there still could potentially be somebody in there who has it and doesn't know it because they're like, well, yeah, I'm vaccinated, so I can't get. It's like, no, that's not true. It's not 100%
true.
So, you know,
it's extra. It's extra armor.
It's extra armor, but it's not impenetrable. Right?
No, but it's way better than.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Else.
All right, let me ask you this.
I'm gonna have to edit all this crap. I'm getting too serious.
Okay, all right. Well, how about I'll just say this and you can edit it out. You're in a boat, right? You're in a boat, and my boat has a crack this big, and your boat has a crack that big.
Difference is my boat has some of that black layer thing where the guy rides it. He can ride it on the water. Yeah, it has that on the crack. That's
there you go. Yeah, you know, you have that on the crack, but then just poke holes in it with a toothpick. It's still in there.
I'm skidding across the water. The other boat.
All I'm saying is you're in a boat
sinking.
That's what I'm saying. Either way it goes, your boat's sinking.
We're not gonna ever be able to do live shows, Reg, unless you got vaccinated. You're lucky Zoom exists. I mean, this is so easy.
That's right. Yo, Kevin Avery hit me. No, I'm not gonna go into that. I won't say that. I won't go into
All
that.
right, well, let's do the two other football stories. Henry Ruggs, that's a sad one. Henry Ruggs III, the Raiders wide receiver, was in Las Vegas. And, people said this too, like, oh, you got football players in Vegas.
Yeah.
A lot of partying, whatever.
He's young, though. He was 22, or he's 22.
Him and his lady were leaving. It was 3:39 in the morning. His Chevy Corvette was traveling at 156 miles per hour when he hit this woman's car, bursted in flames and killed her.
I didn't know that he hit a car. Okay, he hit a car.
Yeah,
he killed the woman. Where's she at?
I think she was like at a light or something, or at the intersection. I think they're driving opposite, and he came flying in at 156 miles per hour.
So he T-boned her, like he hit her from the side, right here, on the driver's side.
I'm not sure how he hit her. All I know is
he survived.
He survived. It hit the passenger side of his car because his girl got put into like intensive care or something, so she's still recovering, and he's in a wheelchair. But he's dinged up, but he's
alive.
Yeah, he could face 20 years.
Oh, easy.
His career's done. Everything's done.
Hey, man,
he was twice the legal limit. It's crazy. Like when you're that rich too, it's just like take a Uber,
dude. Yeah, I mean, but look, man.
In Vegas, you can walk everywhere.
The frontal lobe, frontal cortex, doesn't fully develop to 25, so you're not able to make sound, rational decisions until you're 25. I'm not making an excuse, right? Because there are so many options available. You have money. You can take the Uber, you can take a Lyft, you can take a cab, you can hire a shuttle, you can get a limo.
Those get really expensive, by the way, but not if you're a rich football player.
Yeah, exactly. You get that's funny. You can get a limo, you can get a shuttle, you can have the shuttle bus pick up you and your girl and some friends, and then you guys can just club hop all night and don't have to worry about anything. But that was a decision made by a 22-year-old kid who had access, right?
A lot of access
and the means to do something, right? And I'm not going to demonize all 22-year-olds, because you and I both have been 22 years old and we do dumb shit like that. But I can honestly say that I have been in the car with people driving through Orinda, driving from the 24 down through Orinda to St. Mary's, and we got stopped doing 110. Right. And this is a residential area where it's like the speed limit is 35. We got to stop doing 110. I wasn't driving, but best believe I was sitting there like, yo, man, this is my life. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. I was like, dude, slow down. And luckily we got stopped. We didn't get a ticket because on some athlete shit and whatever else. But man, so young people, they do dumb things, but it's just, and it sucks when other people's lives are destroyed in the process.
We were talking about those Persian guys I'd go partied with before. Right. We went to the club in last week. Well, I remember on one of those trips, this guy who worked with us too, he was this Asian guy, and he had like this souped up car, and he all gave us a ride back one time. And he came on this turn on the highway, like it was a turn, and it was like he was still accelerating on the turn, and it was so sharp, like at 80 miles per hour or something. And then afterwards, like one of the guys like, hey man, you don't do that with the rest of us in the car, man. Fuck that. You're putting us in danger.
Hey, dude, I'm gonna tell you, I got a story for you right now. I was in Seattle for my buddy, my boy Yvonne's wedding. And we're going from one location to another location. There's a bunch of us, so we got to get rides with different people, right? Seattle, it's always misty, kind of raining. I'm in the car, right? And we're following these people, and they kind of go the wrong way. So they make this right turn to kind of go back the way we came. And the guy who's driving, he goes into the turn, and when he hits it, he speeds up and he pulls the emergency brake. So all of a sudden now he does this,
wow.
He does like this emergency brake, like, video game spin turn into the turn. And we pull over to the side, and I was like, oh man, that's crazy. I was like, dude, we just hydroplaned. And he's like, nah, man, I pulled the emergency brake. When I say I lost my shit, Sal, I lost my shit. I didn't know this dude. I'd never seen him before. And I said, you know what? You can do whatever the fuck you want to with your life, but you don't get the right to play with mine. I was like, get the fuck out of the car. You're not driving anymore.
Wow.
And he was like, nah. I was like, no, man. You lost all your chances. I was like, I went on some Mortal Kombat shit. I was like, I'll rip your heart out of your chest right now. Like, fucking get out of the car. And he got out, and I was like, get in the back seat. And I fucking drove the rest of the way. I was like, you got to be out your fucking mind. I was like, as much as I love my life, you can do whatever the hell you want to with yours, but you do not get the right to play with my shit. You do
that
not.
Shit is crazy.
You do not get the right to play with my shit. So I kicked him out. I put him in the back seat. I drove the rest of the way. We made it safely, and there were no more spin out and turn outs and, you know, like slow stops at lights and shit like that. But back to this kid, man, I really feel I just want to say condolences to the lady's family. And, you know, it's unfortunate this happens. You know, we've been alive for a while, and this is not the first time we've heard about this, and it unfortunately won't be the last time. But, you know, young people with access and money and, you know, potentially just being irresponsible. And how many people do that on a regular basis and nothing ever happens, right?
Yeah.
They make it home safely. So it reinforces this idea that, you know, you can be lightweight reckless and get away with it. But
156 miles per hour.
That's out of control.
I can't even. They shouldn't even be able to go that fast on the streets.
Exactly. That's out of control. But, you know, it's, you know, now in this situation, you have one young lady in the hospital, another one dead, and you have a young person whose life is ruined, and he has to live. He has to live with the thought that one night, one moment of indiscretion, of poor judgment, has ruined his entire life, and not just his, but ruined another family's life in the loss of a young person, and ruined potentially another person's life who's in the hospital that hangs in the balance. So you talk about consequences and repercussions and being able to think ahead. Like, this is the shit that we need to talk to people about, young people about, right?
All right,
like,
let's get to something lighter now.
My bad.
In the NFL. Well, not lighter for most, but not for a Browns fan. It's Odell Beckham Jr. So here's
free Odell Beckham.
free OBJ.
Free OBJ.
Look, okay. So first off, the trade deadline ended, I think, on Monday. So in the NFL, no more trades after 4:00 on Monday. And his dad, this last week.
Oh, this last week.
Monday, which is part of the problem here. So then his dad Odell Beckham's dad puts up this video, 11-minute video of all these shots when Odell was open and Baker didn't throw him the ball. Now, I watched some of these. Some, like, one was a big one in Minnesota, but I remember seeing it. I watched every game, and but we won the game. It was fine. Who gives a shit? We won the game. He missed him on one throw. All these other ones, like, okay, there's a couple he missed, but it's like he's got a second. There's guys all in his face. There's other receivers. He's just throwing to who he can throw. All right. It's not like Odell's not obviously always open. There's been 3 games in a row where I've seen him hit Odell in the hands and he dropped the ball. All right. One was a key first down, which really fucked us in a game. Right. So it's just kind of like, here's the thing too. I'm kind of feeling like,
hey man,
Odell, if you're open, they're eventually going to find you.
Right. Well, I hate to say this, but that's a direct shot at the quarterback, right? At Baker Mayfield. Saying
right. And so his dad's taking a shot at Baker, and it's kind of like, I've seen Baker miss some throws, but he's the best quarterback we've had in 20 years. Okay.
But he is not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Tom Brady. He's not Russell Wilson. But he is not Kyler. Kyler Murphy.
He's not at that level. But he can hit. He's got a gun. He can throw, dude. He's got a hell of an arm, and he's shorter too. But so is Russell and Kyler. But the point is, man, if you're that open, he's gonna hit you. Okay.
Right. But see, this is the thing too. You got to remember this. Think about this. Think about Calvin Johnson. Think about Barry Sanders. Think about phenomenal players, and just on bad teams. Tremendously talented.
But the Browns aren't a bad team this year. They've got talent. They've got the best running back in the league. They got the best rushing attack in the game. I'll say that.
What's their record right now?
They're 4-4. They blew a big game last week against Pittsburgh. But the thing is, Calvin Johnson, like, it's big. A lot of these guys are big, strong receivers. Odell was known for his hands and for his speed. Well, he just had a huge ACL surgery, so he's just coming back off of that. His speed's gonna hurt from that. He's still banged up, and he's still not at 100%.
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
He's getting older. You know what I mean? There's a lot that starts coming into play.
Okay, so with that being said, you understand, you gotta see both sides of it, right? Because based on what you just said, he's getting older. His speed is not going to be the same. He's coming off for an injury.
Yeah,
his dad is literally like his window of opportunity is closing, and he's with a quarterback that can't find him, right? Or just for whatever reason,
that's what his dad thinks. Yeah,
that's what his dad thinks. So being his dad is like, this is just that the last thing you want to do is, you want to go down swinging, right? Because you don't want to sit there and just let it play out, and then in retrospect go, damn, maybe I should have pushed for a trade. Maybe I should have tried harder. So it's unfortunate that it's happening in the public's eye, but Odell Beckham is looking like, hey man, my window of opportunity is closing. In order for me to actually have a real chance at doing something, I potentially need to be with an elite quarterback to really see. Because if he gets on the team with an elite quarterback and all of a sudden those moments where he is open, he got the hands and he got a little bit of speed, then we see a new Odell, a new OBJ, it kind of goes, well, maybe he had a point.
They say that, but a lot of times that doesn't happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, there are no guarantees, right? There are no guarantees, but everybody wants a chance.
But he's on. It's the thing too. They got a good team. They're on. He's on now. I'm part of me. He's like, just quit bitching and win. Just try and win games. But here's the problem too: is
wait, how long has he been in the league right now? How long has Odell been in the league? How long has he been with the Browns?
3 years with the Browns, but he was like he only played 7 games last year because of the injury. Okay, and then the year before, he did all right. I think he broke 1,000 yards, but that's it. He's definitely declined the past 4 years. And
okay, so he's
every year with the Browns, he hasn't done what we thought. The first 4 or 5 years he was with the Giants. But the thing is, we couldn't trade him this year because his contract with the Giants was way too big.
Right.
So no one wanted him for that price.
So based on the numbers you just said to me, this is a wide receiver who is known for his speed in his hands, who's been in the league roughly 9 or 10 years.
No, I think maybe more like 7 or 8, but he's been hurt a lot.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if the injuries are catching up.
Okay. So you understand, hey man, look, just let him go.
Well, that's the thing. See, the thing is, you would hope you could trade him and get something, right?
Right.
Because it gets funny too in football. It's just like if one thing sets the team off, we got to shoot away. It's bad mojo, right?
In football, the locker rooms are fragile, bro.
Yeah, it's definitely
fragile. You know,
it was same in basketball. You could tell with like LeBron, if he didn't like it, you're gone. Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, well, come on, no. Let's just be honest, man. Isaiah Thomas, you're joining the Cleveland Cavaliers with a team that just went to the finals the previous year, and then you come in and you're talking about you want to take the last second shot? Come on, man. That's a level of disrespect that no one would tolerate. No one would tolerate that, right? It's LeBron's team, dude. And you had one good year. You had one good year in Boston, and now you're going to come in thinking, and you got a little hip, and you a small dude? Get out of here, man. You must be out your mind.
But, so with the Brownies, yeah, I mean, wait, what was I saying now?
You're saying about trying to get something for
trying
him?
to get the trade for him. So what happened is, though, the trade, so no one wanted him because his contract's too expensive, and they didn't think it was worth it. So then, but the Browns couldn't trade him in time. So his dad puts it on that day. Okay. So then the next day, they can't trade him anymore. All right. So now there's beef and they want to get rid of him, but you can't trade him. And so he kind of, the thing is that they did it on Beckham's dad did it on purpose. And that's why the Browns they haven't let him come to practice the past 2 days. And they're not going to probably have him on the team anymore because the timing was he's going to be put on waivers now. So if anybody wants to pay him, they can pay him. Right. But if nobody wants him and the year goes through, then he'll become a free agent at the end of the year for the first time in his career. Okay. So then that's where it's a perspective from, okay, it's for his career. He's trying to do something, you know what I mean?
Right.
But honestly, dude, I mean, and if he gets picked up on waivers, he could go on a shitty team. He could be, on a worse team, could pick him up.
I mean, he'd have to agree to it, right?
Well, on the waiver, no. Once they release him, if someone's going to willing to pay that amount, they'll get him.
Oh, okay. So now, he doesn't. So he'll have no say so. He'll have no say.
Yeah, so that's why. But if it passes through waivers at the end of the season, then he'll have all the say he wants, and he'll be a free agent. Or the Browns, if they hold on to him, they could trade him at the end of the year.
And if a team picks him,
more unlikely.
But if a team picks him up on waivers, they'll just have him for the year.
Yeah, I
right?
think they have him up until I forget whatever his contract would be. But you're right, it might be just for the year. I don't
Just
know.
for the year, and then he'll become a free agent, because it's the same thing with the NBA's. Like they can pick up a guy for waivers, but and then
Yeah, that's the
having
thing. It's just he might. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, I've seen him drop a couple balls, and maybe Baker's definitely has his flaws. But I mean, his best friend Jarvis is on the team. They live right next to each other in Cleveland, and
right,
it's just kind of like just try and knock it out, dude. This is it.
right,
Let's knock out this year and then take off. But
right.
I don't get like in the middle of the season, it just fucks it all up. I don't know, man.
Hey man,
It's been
look,
a rough season for the
dude,
Browns.
I will say this, and I think it's been proven, and I say this all the time, man, but hey man, sometimes people can't see the forest for the trees, bro. I swear, when they're so deep into whatever it is they're doing, they lack foresight, right?
Yeah.
Like, because whatever's right in front of them is the most important thing ever. But when you get some perspective, you go, like, for example, you have overall perspective. So you're like, yo, man, just make the most of this season and then be on your way.
Yeah, then
Don't
bail.
don't cause dissension within the team and within the ranks. Go to work, handle your business, get paid, put up the numbers, whatever you need to do to go somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
But for him, his boots are on the ground. He's amongst the trees. He's dodging them. And for him, the most important thing right now is this tree right in front of him. And the tree in front of him, from his dad perspective, is a quarterback who's ineffective, and it's hurting him. And his clock is ticking, right? Like women got a biological clock. He's
Baker's
got
wife
the career clock,
they
athletic
always,
clock.
yeah, they're always telling you about the social media people, what they're doing on social media now. And it's like Odell's dad is doing this, and Baker's wife is liking these tweets about, oh, it's not the quarterback's fault. I was like, it's just so stupid now.
It's so
like,
stupid, man. Don't please. I mean, pretty soon it's going to be like Baker Mayfield. He's not practicing, but he had time to go to Cinnabon. He's not focused.
Oh, and Baker, yeah, I told you his shoulder, is fucked up, and he's got a broken little bone on his non-throwing shoulder.
Okay.
And I told you how my buddy Max's brother saw him that one day. He didn't
Oh,
play
that's
that
right.
week.
That's right.
He took
That's
that
right.
week off.
That's
and
right.
we won. And then, but yeah, but he can still throw. But yeah, it's definitely affected him a little.
So there you go. There you go.
There's a lot in play. All right, before we go, Reg, I want to hear about your getting challenged in jiu-jitsu. Because this is funny.
All right. So my son goes to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Oakland. And it's a great dojo. I love the sensei, a guy named Ibrahim, and real down to earth guy. So they were offering, one of Theo's classmates goes there, and they were offering a 30-day free trial. We're like, okay, let's check it out. We do our 30 days. He gives us another week or so on top of that. And at the end, Theo wants to sign up. Like, he's like, I want to do this. So I'm there with him. But when class is over, as the kids are his age group, 6 to 11 or something like that, or more like 7 to 11, all the adults are starting to come in, and they don't know that I'm there with this kid because they're doing a thing. Yeah. And so these guys, this happened a couple of times, they come up and they go, are you signing up? You signing up? Right? Because they see me, because I've noticed that the jiu-jitsu guys are pretty, they're small, right? Compact, usually, very strong, because it's on the ground. It's a lot of holding and grappling and legs and all this kind of stuff. So they see a dude my size, they like, oh, I can't. Oh, the things I could do, right?
Yeah, it's almost like a thing, because you can fight back, but you can't hurt them because it would be stopped. It's in a controlled environment. So it's even,
Yeah, exactly. So they're always, and I've said this, and I have said, and I posted this yesterday. I tweeted it and I put it on Facebook. I was like, they always ask, they're like, are you joining? Are you signing up or whatever? And I'm like, nah, bro, y'all don't get to beat up on me. Nope. Because as a big guy, right? And I'm not even that big, really, but as a big guy, people love the opportunity to take shots at you, right? To try to put you in a thing. Like, okay, let me see if this works. If I come over here and do, I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. Y'all don't get to just, pounce on me. Which is funny, because you said Kevin Monroe, another comedian and friend of ours based in LA now. He big posted guy. About a big, and Kevin, now I'm 6'3.5", right? 6'4" on a good day with whatever shoes I'm wearing and stuff. But Kevin is legitimately 6'6", right? But Kevin's not a big dude, because Kevin's a dancer. He does ballroom dancing, right?
Yeah, he's more slender, but he's still big.
He's got some size. He's put on some weight as he's gotten older. But he's 6'6", long, ballroom dancer, so he can move. And he said he took Krav Maga And he said whenever the instructor always picked him out to like demonstrate
Play
on
the assailant.
to be the assailant. And he said all these white women were just taking shots at him. Every chance they got, it was like they were coming in like, oh yeah, let's try this and let's do this. And I told him, I said, yo, Kevin, hey man, you need to tell that story on stage. It's a great story about you getting beat up by all these white women. You should call it Karen's Revenge. Because all these white women are kicking your ass. So yeah, man,
that's funny. That's a tough spot to be in.
It's a tough spot to be in, man. Like, I mean, you know, just people if they get a chance to kind of test, you know, if they do a thing, right? If they do martial arts, they do boxing, they do kickboxing, they do something, they're always kind of itching and aching for that opportunity to try it out. And they always want to go for the big guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, especially like in that environment, because you could only come back at them so hard.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They're like,
now
they wouldn't do that to you on the street.
No, not on the street. Like, this is a controlled, safe environment where they can do whatever. But I will say this is, I have a friend of mine, my friend Marcus. He did Muay Thai for a long time, right? And so he and I would kind of just mess around. And this is when I realized that I was like, oh man, this is what made me think about Theo needs to be in something too, is because I've never done any structured fighting, right? Like, I've never been trained in karate or kung fu or taekwondo or jujitsu or Krav Maga or Kaju Kimbo, like none of that stuff. But I've always had size and strength and athleticism, so I can move and I can do stuff. But I realized that when he and I are messing around and doing stuff, he's legitimately trying to put me into stuff. And all I'm doing is just getting out of it. Just based on some sheer size and strength, I'm able to keep him from putting me into stuff. Like, I'm literally able to keep him from beating me up, but I didn't have any counters. You know what I mean? Like, when he tried to grab me into the thing, it wasn't like I knew how to come back and grab him and do a thing. You know what I mean? So just imagine, it's like, this is my friend Marcus. This is another kid named Marcus Fernando. So just imagine if it's like playing basketball, but you're always on defense, right? You're always on defense. And so
that's not fun.
It's not fun. And the only saving grace I had was, I was like, based on some sheer size and strength, I can keep him from doing stuff to me.
Right.
But I didn't have an organized way of doing stuff to counter. Yeah. So, you know, now obviously if you're in a fight and you can get out of a thing, at that point, you just go for whatever, right? And the one thing I do know is that the throat, I don't care how much you've trained, you take a shot to the throat, that joint gonna hurt. You take a thumb to the eye, it's a wrap. You get hit in the crotch, yo, I'm good. If I get knee back the other way, that joint is gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
never tell you that time. When I was a kid, my dad got in a fight with my brother, my older brother. And
I think you mentioned.
I remember because I was playing with my little football toys on the floor, and I remember they got in this argument, and I got up off the floor, and they start fighting like on my toys and all over, and they're rolling around on the floor, and my dad eventually just grabbed my brother by the throat and just start choking the hell out of him until my brother finally stopped. And then I remember my dad, we went to my grandparents, and he's telling his like brothers and stuff. He's like, oh yeah, he's a bigger guy than me, you know, so all I could do was grab onto that throat and hold on for dear life.
Dude, it's a funny and sad story.
Oh, it's so crazy.
It's so crazy. I mean, it's funny because hold on for dear life, right?
While he's taking a life.
While he's taking his son's life, his adopted son's life. It's almost like, I've chosen you and now I've unchosen you. Right? Anytime I've heard other stories about parents who've kind of gone at their kids in certain ways, and it's always kind of funny, but it's also really sad, man. Because just think about the person who's supposed to protect you is the person who's kicking your ass. Like, that's just like, who do you go to now, right? Who do you go to?
Yeah.
Right? If the person that's like agreed to protect you and keep you safe is the person who's fucking you up. Where do you go?
And I remember going back to my toys, and all the guys are all spread all over the floor. I was like, oh, how'd you get all the way over there?
You're like, I just had everything set up. Next time, can you guys take that shit outside? You know.
All
Yo,
right,
man,
Reg,
that's
you want to
crazy.
sign us out?
Yeah,
What do you
man.
want to
Yeah,
say
man. This is
about we got any guests coming up? Maybe that'd be cool.
I've reached out to a couple of people. I was gonna say I reached out to Janine Garofalo, and I was hoping to get Janine, and she was very kind. But I remembered that Janine doesn't do any she doesn't do any technology. She was like, "Thank you for the invite. I would love to, but she's like, I don't know if you remember, but I don't do devices." She's like, "I have no way of even getting on." Right. And I was like, "Oh, I do remember that." Because she and I talked. She gave me her Audible home device, like her what is it for Amazon where you can say, "Hey, not Siri, but whatever the other one is."
Alexa.
Alexa, hey Alexa, can you turn on the lights or whatever? She was like, "I can't use this. I don't know how to use technology." So Janine, she wasn't able to do it, but she was very gracious.
Does she live in LA?
No, she's in New York.
Oh,
She's in New York. Yeah.
Oh.
And so we have some other people on the list that I'm excited about, and I'll reach out to them.
That's funny. She's like, I don't do technology.
Yeah, she's like, I don't do devices, or she's like, I don't even have a computer to do stuff.
Wow, dude.
Wow. Yeah. So, but she was really cool, man. She was really nice about it. And it was good to catch up with her for a bit. So shout out to Janine, and who knows?
All right, we'll see. Close us out.
All right. Hey, thank you guys so much for listening and for tuning in. We hope that you enjoyed listening to Sal and I discuss a variety of topics and running the gamut on emotions and feelings here today. But we love doing The
Shining, this. Reg.
Yeah, I will check out The Shining. We love doing this, and we hope that you enjoy listening to us. So please keep watching, like, share, and yeah. So that's we'll see you next week.
Yeah, right.
That's Sal Kalani. No, I did have a brain fart. That's Sal Kalani. I'm Reggie Steele, and this has been Spitballin.
Peace, everybody. Peace.